Wargames are getting bigger, more intense, and more detailed with every new reveal, gameplay showcase, and release date update. Over the past few weeks, we've seen plenty of exciting announcements, so here are some upcoming games to watch. Let's dive in. Gallipoli takes the WW1 game series to the Ottoman front, where 50-player battles recreate some of the First World War's fiercest campaigns across beaches, deserts, fortified positions, and historic landmarks. You'll fight as either the British or Ottoman forces, choosing from 10 historically accurate classes that encourage teamwork in objective-based matches. Authentic weapons, one-shot, one-kill combat, weighty gun handling, and realistic reload mechanics make every engagement tense, while more than 50 period weapons and equipment add variety to each battle. The latest developer update also explores the historical background of the Ottoman Empire and the Gallipoli campaign, reinforcing the game's commitment to authenticity. Gallipoli launches on the 20th of August 2026, with crossplay support and AI bots joining multiplayer matches. Reaper Actual is an open-world persistent shooter set on the war-torn island of Morova, where hundreds of players deploy as Reapers and battle other players in 5 NPC factions across large PvPvE encounters. Players complete missions, collect loot, upgrade their weapons and operators, and maintain a personal base between deployments. With ground vehicles already available and air and sea vehicles planned for the future, the game is currently in early access, with the developers aiming to make it feature-complete in 2026. The latest version 1.4.9.6 update adds German and Spanish language support, improves trading and selling, and introduces several quality-of-life changes. Missions now sort by distance, rewards appear in chat after completion, and players can sell items from both their rucksack and vault. The patch also reduces VRAM usage, fixes crashes and scope rendering issues, improves audio settings, and lets base owners test weapons with free ammunition. Hell Let Loose Vietnam is a large-scale multiplayer tactical shooter set during the Vietnam War, featuring 50v50 battles between the U.S. Armed Forces and the North Vietnamese Army. Players fight across 6 maps inspired by real locations, using historically inspired weapons, helicopters, patrol boats, and NVA tunnel networks, while coordinating through a chain of command with 17 specialized combat roles. Alongside classic warfare and offensive modes, the game also introduces new multiplayer modes, enhanced movement mechanics, cross-platform play, and improved onboarding. Ahead of launch, the developers' Developer Q&A Part 2 shared behind-the-scenes development insights and confirmed long-term post-launch support, including additional maps, factions, vehicles, dynamic weather, battalions for organized communities, a live service roadmap, and future updates shaped by community feedback. Veil of Ashes is a real-time strategy game set in a dark, alternate history world powered by mysterious Sinium, where steam-driven war machines, infantry, tanks, and colossal behemoths battle across destructible battlefields. Players command one of 2 launch factions in semi-procedural single-player campaigns or up to 4v4 multiplayer matches, using tactical points to deploy powerful reinforcements, support abilities, and massive war machines while adapting to changing terrain and strategic objectives. The latest developer update also announced Slytherin as the game's official publisher, marking a major milestone for the project and confirming plans to continue expanding the game with additional content, including new factions such as the Communes, after launch. Brass Rain is a combined arms World War II shooter that recreates famous battles with infantry, tanks, and objective-based multiplayer combat inspired by real historical events. You'll fight across carefully designed locations like Point du Hoc and Castle Itter, where multiple routes, trenches, buildings, and open kill zones encourage different tactical approaches. Every match features asymmetrical objectives, forcing attackers and defenders to complete different missions instead of simply eliminating the opposing team. Authentic World War II weapons, including the recently showcased Thompson M1, A1, and Kar 98K, add to the historical atmosphere while delivering grounded but fast-paced gunplay. At launch, the focus will be on infantry and tank combat, with future updates planned to expand the battlefield with aircraft, naval warfare, and even larger battles. Kingmakers sends you back to medieval England to rewrite history using modern weapons, vehicles, and military tactics. You'll fight alongside thousands of AI-controlled soldiers in massive real-time battles, switching instantly between third-person combat and commanding entire armies. Assault rifles, grenade launchers, armored vehicles, helicopters, and airstrikes can be used against castles, cavalry, and infantry, while strategic commands let you deploy archers, spearmen, swordsmen, and fortifications to turn the tide of battle. The game also supports 4-player online co-op, allowing friends to coordinate assaults or defend strongholds together across large sandbox battlefields. The developers recently showcased the first public playable demo at Bilibili World 2026, gathered player feedback, and confirmed that a detailed gameplay deep dive is coming soon. Trench Tales is a third-person action game set in a dark, war-ravaged world inspired by the First World War, where endless trenches, ruined bunkers, and supernatural horrors create a haunting battlefield. Combat combines firearms, melee weapons, and powerful abilities like slowing time, healing, and revealing enemies through walls, giving you multiple ways to handle each encounter. You'll also be able to customize a wide range of weapons with different attachments while exploring interconnected areas filled with hidden paths, equipment, and environmental storytelling. Development has continued with major updates that add a new opening story sequence, fresh equipment and locations, smarter enemy AI, improved weapon handling, dynamic difficulty balancing, interface refinements, better performance, and visual upgrades, making the project one to keep an eye on. Battleplan is a historical World War II real-time strategy game that emphasizes large-scale military simulation, placing players in command of entire divisions across massive battlefields recreated from real-world geographic data. Instead of micromanaging every unit, players create detailed battle plans by drawing directly on the map, manage realistic chains of command, logistics, and supplies, and lead autonomous forces through week to month-long campaigns based on historic Western Front battles. The latest developer update announced that Battleplan's release has been delayed to Q3 2026 following additional testing, with the extra development time being used to improve battle planning tools, enhance army management features, fix bugs and crashes, and further polish the overall gameplay experience before launch. Valor Mortis is a first-person Souls-like action RPG from the creators of Ghost Runner, set in an alternate 19th century Europe where you play as William, a fallen soldier of Napoleon's Grande Armée, brought back to life with supernatural powers. Players battle plague-infected monsters using precise melee combat, parries, dashes, finishers, and unique abilities while uncovering the mystery behind a continent consumed by a deadly plague. Ahead of the game's October 13, 2026 launch, the developers are encouraging players to try the available demo and share feedback, explaining that the experimental first-person melee system has already been refined through community input and will continue receiving improvements before release. 83 is a large-scale 40v40 tactical first-person shooter set in an alternate Cold War where conflict erupts between NATO and the Warsaw Pact across Europe. Designed as a spiritual successor to the Rising Storm series, it combines realistic weapon handling, squad-based teamwork, vehicles, and commander-led objective battles while keeping matches fast-paced and accessible. The latest Quality of Life patch number 8 improves environmental audio with enhanced reverb and punchier weapon sounds, refines tank and weapon audio, fixes free look and bipod issues, updates automatic squad assignments to create better balanced squads, and improves the vote kick system and server options. The developers also confirmed that work is now focused on the game's first major content update, with more details set to be revealed starting next week. World of Tanks Heat is a free-to-play hero-based tank shooter that combines fast-paced vehicle combat with unique agents, customizable tanks, and objective-focused multiplayer battles. Players can compete in 5v5 and 10v10 matches, unlock new tanks and abilities, and build different agent-tank combinations to suit their playstyle across PC and consoles with full cross-platform progression. The latest Weekend Chase number 2 events run from August 7 to August 10, featuring 18 4-hour leaderboard windows split between separate solo and squad competitions. Players compete for a top 25 finish based on wins, with total damage acting as the tiebreaker. Finishing in the top 25 rewards the exclusive Desert Tan paint for the M1E1 Abrams, XM190, and Leo 1A 6A1, while completing 10 PvP quick match battles grants 3 boosters. Throughout the event, squad players also receive a 100% bonus to both Agent XP and Vehicle XP, making it an ideal weekend to progress while competing for exclusive cosmetic rewards. Iron Nest Heavy Turret Simulator puts you inside a colossal 5,000-ton diesel-punk artillery machine during an alternate history Spanish Civil War, where you calculate firing solutions, operate the turret, choose ammunition, study battlefield reports, and unleash devastating artillery strikes. The game launched on August 6 and has already passed 250,000 sales in just 3 days. The latest patch, 1.01577, fixes several issues, including missing mouse cursors after tabbing out, mission events failing to reset, turret positions and movement carrying over between missions, excessive log spam, localization errors in Russian, Spanish, and Polish, and off-center spotters and blind fire. It also improves error detection, random crashes, RAM and VRAM usage, and crater visuals. A stopwatch offset option was added for ultra-wide monitors, while the chromatic aberration effect was removed from the pause menu. The developers are now preparing the first new skirmish modes and continuing to address player feedback. Wardogs is a large-scale tactical FPS where up to 100 players are divided across 3 teams to fight over dynamic control zones on destructible battlefields. Players earn persistent cash by capturing objectives, reviving teammates, transporting supplies, and supporting their squad, then spend it on weapons, equipment, and vehicles that can influence future matches. Infantry combat, armored vehicles, logistics, and base building all play a role, giving teams multiple ways to secure victory. Recently, the developers hosted the first official Wardogs livestream, showcasing live gameplay alongside real playtesters instead of a scripted demo. The broadcast offered an early look at the game's current state, highlighting its large-scale battles, teamwork, and player-driven combat, while giving the community a chance to see how the experience is evolving ahead of its early access release. Fear of Faith is a co-op survival horror game where up to 4 cloned soldiers enter cursed World War II bunkers to recover a mysterious resource while surviving supernatural threats. Each expedition features procedurally generated layouts, making every run different as you choose from 4 classes, combine unique spells, and adapt to changing situations. A fear system forces you to carefully manage your faith, keep bunker generators running, or even drink beer to avoid deadly consequences. Physics-based interactions let you ignite oil, electrify water, throw objects, trigger traps, or quietly sneak past enemies, giving every team multiple ways to survive. The developers also plan to expand the game with additional maps, bosses, enemies, spells, classes, and new game modes as development continues toward its full release. Metro 2039 is the next chapter in the Metro series, taking players back into the underground tunnels and ruined streets of post-apocalyptic Moscow. The story follows the mysterious stranger as he becomes caught in a conflict against Hunter, a ruthless Spartan leader who controls the Metro through fear, propaganda, and the promise of reclaiming the surface. Gameplay combines tense first-person shooting, stealth, survival, and exploration as you travel through dangerous environments filled with hostile factions and deadly creatures. The first gameplay reveal showcased nearly 3 minutes of in-game footage, highlighting its detailed world, atmospheric combat, and cinematic presentation, while also confirming that Metro 2039 is scheduled to launch in February 2027. Horizon Steel Frontiers expands the Horizon universe with a shared world MMORPG where players create their own machine hunter instead of playing as Aloy. Set in the new Deadlands region, the adventure takes you across deserts, ruined cities, and dangerous wilderness while joining one of 4 familiar tribes. Combat is built around cooperative monster hunts, emphasizing melee weapons, charged blade parries, and targeting machine parts to gain the upper hand. Between missions, you'll gather in social hubs to upgrade gear, form hunting parties, and prepare for large-scale expeditions, while cauldrons return as multiplayer dungeons packed with team-based challenges. New traversal options, including rideable and flying machines, add more freedom when exploring the open world. The game is currently planned to launch in the first half of 2027. Exoborne is an open-world tactical extraction shooter, where violent weather is just as deadly as enemy players and hostile factions. Set in the ruined lands of Colton County, you'll scavenge valuable resources, complete risky extractions, and uncover the truth behind a rebellion that followed humanity's collapse. Powerful exo-rigs can be customized with different abilities and mods, allowing you to adapt your loadout and even use tornadoes, lightning strikes, and other natural disasters to your advantage during combat. Every session changes as dynamic weather reshapes the battlefield, forcing you to rethink your strategy and decide when to fight or retreat. Careful planning, teamwork, and smart resource management are essential if you want to survive, secure your loot, and make it back alive. Projekt Z Beyond Order is a cooperative first-person zombie shooter set in an alternate World War II where 4 survivors battle the undead using unique abilities, customizable weapons, and specialized roles. Missions can be tackled with up to 4 players before expanding into Expedition Mode, where you explore a dangerous island for loot, blueprints, side missions, and resources. A deep crafting system lets you upgrade firearms, melee weapons, and your home base, while unlocking stronger gear through progression. Recent updates highlighted the game's rare and powerful weapons system, showcasing unique firearms with special traits, while the developers also launched the first private playtests, marking another step toward release. Fragmentary Order is a hardcore sci-fi multiplayer extraction shooter set in the year 2251, where humanity is controlled by the core as growing unrest pushes civilization toward collapse. Players remotely control clone bodies to infiltrate dangerous planets, gather valuable resources, complete contracts, and extract alive while facing severe penalties for failure. The game emphasizes tactical combat, deep simulation, and high-risk decision-making. An alternate reality game, ARG, tied to the lore, also offers puzzles that can unlock foundational knowledge and potential early access opportunities. The Caribou Trail is a first-person narrative adventure set during the Gallipoli campaign of World War I, following 3 friends from Newfoundland, whose goal is not to win the war, but simply to survive it. Inspired by real testimonies, the story focuses on trench life, friendship, difficult choices, and psychological horror rooted in wartime folklore rather than traditional combat. Players explore camps, complete survival-focused missions, recover fallen comrades' dog tags, and decide how to respond to the horrors around them. Since launch, the developers have released the free original soundtrack, made the game available on PlayStation 5, and continue supporting it with updates while it maintains very positive user reviews on Steam. Rules of Engagement: The Grey State is a horror-infused extraction shooter where squads of 3 can fight through cooperative PvE missions against relentless monster hordes, or compete against rival teams in high-stakes PvP for control of the Vertex. Players customize their loadouts, push deeper into dangerous operations, and decide when to extract before losing everything. Every mission emphasizes teamwork, tactical combat, and surviving unpredictable supernatural threats. The developer's first dev blog also introduced Boreas Isle, a frozen island serving as the setting for the new 3-player co-op PvE mode, where squads battle creatures emerging from the mysterious haze while exploring the eerie Grey State dimension. The studio confirmed this is the first in a series of development blogs that will regularly share new features, behind-the-scenes updates, and progress throughout development. Defect is a cyberpunk tactical first-person shooter set in the last city of humanity, where an authoritarian AI known as the System controls society through overwhelming force. Players can experience the game solo, team up in co-op, or compete in a dynamic 4v4v4v4 PvP mode as rival police units or criminal factions, completing shifting objectives with advanced weapons, gadgets, and tactical teamwork. The latest developer update featured game director Emmanuel Palalik, offering behind-the-scenes insight into the game's development, creative vision, and design philosophy, with the studio confirming that more developer-focused updates will continue to showcase the people and ideas shaping Defect. Wraith Ops is a fast-paced multiplayer military FPS built around objective-based combat, teamwork, and skill-driven infantry gameplay. Players choose from 3 distinct classes, customize their loadouts with weapon upgrades, and battle across 4 multiplayer modes where quick movement, precise gunplay, and coordinated squad tactics are key to victory. Earlier this year, the developers delayed the game's launch to later in 2026 to give the team more time for additional polish and improvements. The title is now scheduled for release in 2026, with a continued focus on delivering a refined, competitive shooter featuring no grind, no gimmicks, and purely skill-based combat. Tempest Rising. The Veti's Wrath is an expansion for the classic-inspired RTS Tempest Rising, adding a brand new campaign focused on the Veti, an ancient alien civilization fighting to reclaim its former dominance after the Tempest Wars. The DLC features an 11-mission story campaign, introducing new units, abilities, doctrines, and unique mechanics built around converting fallen enemies into enlightened soldiers that can be sacrificed to strengthen armies and power bases. Players will also command devastating alien weapons, use teleportation tactics, and expand their bases through ascension anchors, which enhance nearby structures as they evolve, offering a fresh strategic playstyle when the expansion launches. PVKK is a story-driven simulation that puts you in command of a massive planetary defense cannon inside a retro-futuristic bunker. Rather than controlling soldiers on the battlefield, you'll operate complex machinery by managing generators, monitoring radar systems, calculating firing solutions, and defending your home world from an interplanetary invasion. Between missions, you can upgrade and personalize your bunker, making it both more efficient and more comfortable. The story also introduces moral dilemmas, forcing you to choose between obeying an authoritarian regime or questioning its motives, with multiple endings shaped by your decisions. Hidden secrets, escape room-style puzzles, and political intrigue gradually reveal the truth behind the conflict. The developers have also confirmed that the game has been delayed to 2027. 14 Years of Flames is a story-driven FPS that follows China's struggle during the Second Sino-Japanese War, putting players in the role of 7 key characters across 16 major historical events. The game aims to recreate the conflict from a Chinese perspective, moving from northeast China to Nanjing while highlighting the hardship, sacrifice, and scale of the war. It also emphasizes historical accuracy, with a wide range of weapons, vehicles, and soldier equipment recreated from the era, along with campaign scenarios designed to capture the different landscapes and atmosphere of each battle. Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thieves puts players in the cockpit of an elite fighter pilot, delivering fast-paced aerial combat across a story-driven campaign filled with high-risk missions and cinematic moments. Dynamic skies, layered cloud systems, and powerful weaponry shape every dogfight as players battle enemy aircraft and complete challenging objectives. Between missions, interactions with squad mates and key decisions deepen the narrative, highlighting the responsibilities of command and the bonds formed in combat. The game also introduces the largest online mode in the series, featuring a shared airbase lobby, custom pilot avatars, cross-platform multiplayer, cooperative missions, and competitive online battles. With a blend of arcade-style flying, cinematic storytelling, and expanded multiplayer features, it aims to deliver the biggest and most ambitious Ace Combat experience to date. Total War Medieval 3 returns the series to the Middle Ages with a blend of turn-based grand strategy and large-scale real-time battles. Players lead medieval kingdoms across a historically inspired sandbox where diplomacy, warfare, politics, and expansion shape the fate of their realm. Built on Creative Assembly's new War Core engine, the game aims to deliver improved visuals, animations, and campaign systems, while preserving the strategic depth the series is known for. Historical events can be followed or rewritten as players forge alliances, conquer territories, and command massive armies in tactical battles. Designed as a reboot for the historical Total War games, it focuses on authentic medieval warfare while giving players the freedom to shape their own empire through conquest, diplomacy, and decisive leadership. Thunder Infantry expands the long-running military combat platform by introducing player-controlled soldiers into its large-scale combined arms battles. Players fight on foot, alongside tanks, helicopters, aircraft, and drones across urban and open battlefields designed for tactical warfare. The mode features customizable infantry loadouts with body armor, anti-tank weapons, man-pads, assault rifles, and weapon attachments, while emphasizing teamwork between ground forces and vehicles. Recent testing has introduced new maps, multiple gameplay cues, weapon unlocks, and continued balance adjustments based on player feedback. Rather than being a standalone title, infantry combat is integrated directly into War Thunder, creating battles where armored vehicles, air support, and foot soldiers operate together in the same match. The mode is currently in closed beta testing with additional features and refinements planned before a full public release. Ahoy is a multiplayer naval adventure set in the Caribbean during the late 18th century, where players captain historically accurate sailing ships across a dynamic open world. You can trade goods, manage both player and AI crew members, build alliances, and face rival captains in large-scale naval battles. Sailing mechanics focus on wind, navigation, ship handling, and teamwork, while first-person combat extends to boarding actions and close-quarters fights. Every vessel is recreated using historical references, with detailed interiors, authentic equipment, and realistic seamanship. Player decisions influence relationships between colonial powers, pirates, and indigenous factions, shaping how each voyage unfolds. Multiplayer supports cooperative ship crews with ambitious plans for large naval engagements, creating a blend of strategy, exploration, trading, and historically inspired Age of Sail warfare. The Defiant is a first-person shooter inspired by the Second Sino-Japanese War, placing players in the role of Chinese resistance fighters across a series of historical campaigns. The story highlights the courage and sacrifices of those who fought during the conflict, featuring locations such as frozen forests, occupied villages, canals, and the Taihang Mountains. Players use a wide range of period-authentic weapons, including rifles, pistols, machine guns, and submachine guns, while completing missions based on key moments from the war. The game focuses on cinematic storytelling, historical settings, and intense firefights, with each battlefield aiming to recreate the atmosphere of wartime China. Alongside its single-player campaign, the Defiant also plans to include online and LAN co-op modes, allowing players to tackle missions together. Chronicles Medieval is a medieval action RPG and strategy sandbox set during the Hundred Years' War, where you begin as an ordinary warrior and rise through the ranks by building your reputation, recruiting soldiers, and leading armies into large-scale, real-time battles. You fight alongside hundreds of troops while issuing tactical commands to infantry, archers, and cavalry without leaving the battlefield. Beyond combat, the game features exploration, character progression, resource management, crafting, and a dynamic world where factions, patrols, and events constantly change. Launching in early access in 2026, the initial release focuses on the core sandbox experience, while future updates aim to expand the game with deeper diplomacy, economy systems, castle upgrades, siege machines, additional factions, new locations, improved AI, modding support, and community-driven features. Glory to the Heroes is a tactical military shooter set during the Russian-Ukrainian War, featuring both a story-driven single-player campaign and large-scale PvPvE multiplayer battles. Players fight across real-world locations recreated with photogrammetry and height map data, while taking on roles such as rifleman, medic, artillery operator, drone pilot, or driver. Combat emphasizes squad coordination, combined arms warfare, realistic weapon handling, destructible environments, logistics, and manual inventory management. Dynamic weather survival systems and detailed injury mechanics add to the challenge, while artillery, armored vehicles, drones, and fortifications shape every battle. The story campaign focuses on personal war stories inspired by historical events, while the multiplayer mode recreates modern battlefield tactics with large-scale engagements that reward teamwork, careful planning, and strategic decision-making. TankRat is a post-apocalyptic action game where humanity survives by transferring its consciousness into mechanical drones and taking control of heavily armed tanks. Playing as Whitaker, you'll switch between a fast-moving drone and powerful combat vehicles, while exploring a ruined wasteland filled with corrupted machines and towering mech monsters. Every battle rewards you with weapons, armor, and mechanical parts that can be salvaged from destroyed enemies and attached to your own machines, allowing you to constantly rebuild and adapt your loadout. The journey also revolves around uncovering the mystery of High Point and the reality-warping shroud that changed the world forever. Recent developer updates confirmed the game remains on track for its 2026 release, while development continues to refine the experience. Noblemen 1941 is a third-person shooter that combines large-scale battles with real-time strategy in an alternate World War II setting where a devastating plague has pushed civilization to the brink. As one of the powerful noblemen, you'll lead your own armies, recruit infantry, tanks, artillery, mechs, and experimental units while fighting directly on the battlefield. Between missions, you'll manage resources, build defenses, unlock new abilities, and customize your weapons through RPG-style progression. Combat features realistic mechanics like armor penetration, bullet physics, suppression, morale, and advanced AI. While the alternate history setting introduces supernatural enemies such as plague-infected ghouls and vampires alongside futuristic war machines. 3 distinct factions, large single-player campaigns, and tactical unit command add plenty of variety to every battle.